Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and episode 3 of the Mazda MX5 restoration. In today's episode, I'm going to look at replacing the door and the wing. They're both damaged. I've got replacements from an online seller. It was actually cheaper to buy the new door and the new wing than it was to have these repainted. Something that I can't do myself. I don't have the facilities or the skills to really do it in 2K paint in the justice it would need. So this episode, door and wing. If you're not already, please think about giving a like and subscribe. Stay tuned. So we've taken delivery of this pallet. This should be the door, the driver's door and the wing. So let's get it unpacked, inspect it for damage, make sure it's as advertised and get it somewhere safe that is not in the way of where that needs to go. Let's get it done. So one door and one wing, exactly as described, much better condition than what's on the car already. I am going to have to swap over things like the door lock. I don't think there's a shut, no, so there's not a catch in here, so I'll have to swap that over and also swap the mirrors over, but that is exactly as it was described. Minimal to no damage on the door. And the wing, for the age, is in pretty good nick. It's much better than the one that's on the car. Slight little bit of rust developing down here, which for me, for this car, is not the end of the world. It's considerably better than what's on there. If we have a look at back quickly, you can see we're actually going for a bit of an improvement with the new wing. Not to mention all this poor lacquer, you can't really see because of the rain, but there's pretty much no lacquer here. Really poor paint match from this repair. The other thing I've just noticed as well, the handle is ever so slightly different. This centerpiece is proud, so it's slightly proud from the handle, whereas on the other one it sits slightly in, recessed. Maybe some of you MX5 buffs can let me know why that is. I will change it for my own sanity. I'll know it's there. It is barely noticeable, but I will change it. But if you know why, let me know in the comments, because I don't have a clue. So we're going to get these in the garage, get them out of the rain, off the drive where they're going to be safe, wrapped in bubble wrap where they're not going to get damaged. The safest place for them is on the car, but for now, let's get them in the garage, out of the wet. Not so fussed about the wing, but certainly the door with all the electrics inside it, that needs to stay dry. Let's get them out of the way, and then when it stops raining, we'll get them on the car. So from reading around online, we've got to pop this cover off, and we've got to pop this out the back of here, and there should be 2 crosshead screws behind there, and then we can take the door guard off. Let's give it a go. So the door card's off, as to be expected. A couple of little wires for odd bits, so we've got door speakers. We've also got the cable going into the mirror adjuster, which is here, and then also the wire cables, like the metal physical cables for the door handle. So we'll pop those off, and then that's the door card off. Probably a good idea. I'm going to put the window up before I get too carried away, because I should think that'll need to be up for me to get access to not only the strike lock but the other side of the door handle as well, to change that. So I'll pop the window up before I unplug everything. I know the window switches aren't here, but I don't know if it's going to break any circuits and cause any problems. We'll get that up, get the door card off, and then see where we are. So the door card's off. It's down here. I am keeping this. This is going to be put onto the new door, so I'm keeping it out of the way where it'll be safe. Now let's get the slam lock and the door handle off of this door, and then we can look at taking the door off the car. So I'm going to remove this plastic here. It just looks like a series of 10mm nuts. Sorry, 10mm bolts. Not entirely sure if it's needed to get to the mirror, the door handle and the lock. However, it's going to give me a lot more access and make my life a bit easier, so it's worth a punt for what's going to be a few minutes of doing a few bolts. So let's give it a go and see how it ends up. So interestingly, in unplugging this plug here, it sent one of the actuators in the other door a bit nuts. So I'm going to get the bonnet up, take the battery off, stop that from happening, and we'll take that back off and try and get this skin here off. So that has made life 100 times easier. Much better access to the lock up there. It's a bit dark, I know, all of this. And I need to figure out how to get the mirror off now. Shouldn't be too hard. It also means I can get to this slam lock here a lot easier. So let's get that done and then we can get the door off. There we go, we'll be putting that into the new door. Now we can focus on getting the actual door skin itself off. Or the door, door. So a nice easy one for the door mirror. Got one bolt there and you can just see the other one there, so when you rotate the mirror the other way you can gain access to it. Let's get that off. So the old door's off. We've now got to get the new one on. It does weigh quite a bit, so I am doing this on my own. Would recommend you have someone to help you lift it on. But let's battle on and see if we can get this on the car. Old handle, new handle, and you can see just a slight difference. This one's proud, whereas this one's slightly recessed. They look almost identical. This one's a bit tatty, but yeah, that's why I wanted to swap them over. So that's the handle and the slam lock in. That was a pain to get the barrel lock on the handle back on. It was actually easier when this was out because you don't have the push rods in the way, these things. So it's a lot easier with that out. So I did whip that back out, put the lock in. What I am going to do while I'm here, I think it should be relatively simple. I'm going to change the window. This one is quite scratched. Don't know if you can pick that up. It's quite scratched. That one is in a lot better condition. So whilst we've got everything off the door, we'll see if we can flip those over. So before we go mad putting everything back together, I just want to check that now I've changed the door handle, it's actuating the lock properly. So I'm going to flick that shut, simulate shutting the door, and then when I pull the handle, happy days, don't know if you could see that, so flick it shut, there we go. So I know I'm not going to get trapped out or in the car. Mind you, big hole here I could get in, I suppose, isn't there? But yeah, that's working as it should. So now let's start getting the interior door card back on, now that I've changed the glass, and then the main door card itself. While I'm here, I'm going to see if I can get this clipped back on. I think from looking at it, it should be a pretty straightforward clip back on. There we go. Quick fix. So the door's changed over. It's got the handle from the original door on there. The mirror's on. We've also got the door card back on, so that is done, complete. Everything works, all the electrics are good. So now it's time to do the wing. So from looking at it, it should be fairly straightforward. We've got some bolts along the top here. There's a couple down the door shut, and I should imagine there will be some along the bottom here. It will be a case of popping these arch liner or fender liner clips out from here, taking the indicator off, and hopefully the wing should then come off. What I do have is the beauty of the new wing to show me exactly where those bolts are, so I can easily locate what I need to unbolt. Let's get it done. So the old wing is off. These were really tricky, these. Not the end of the world, you know. I think all in all that took me maybe 15 minutes. It's, you know, as far as wings go, that was pretty good. Bit of a pain to get to, bit of a fiddle, but not impossible. By the time you pull the arch liner back, it's easily accessible. Now let's get the new one on. Let's hope it goes on as easy as the old one came off. What is really reassuring to see is all the sills down here look really good for an MX5 of this age, so I'm really pleased about that. Let's do it. So I've got it all on finger tight. I'm just going to check that the lines up the edge of the wing here match up with the bonnet. I've checked the door, that's lining up nicely along this line here as it shuts. So let's get those lines checked and then I can start tightening everything down. Bang on. So they all line up wonderfully. I'm going to get them tightened down. You can really see just how bad the paint is on that now. This light seems to be, yeah, that is awful. As you come round, it's not so bad, but there's just been a horrendous repair to this corner of the car. So let's get the wing tightened down. I think we're probably going to get this painted. I'm really struggling to find a sunlight silver front bumper for a Mk3 MX5. If you know of any, please do hit me up in the comments. I'd love to buy one. But for now, let's get the wing done. And there we have it, guys. The door and the wing both changed over. They've gone on really nice. The panel gaps all line up beautifully. The colour match is really good in person. I think the light off of the wall is throwing this a little bit in comparison to the door, but when you look at it in person, it's spot on. Really happy with how all the arch liner clips went back in. Normally, you know, they will break when they come out, especially when it's old brittle plastic, but it's just gone really well. I'm really pleased with how that went. Thanks for watching. If you're not already, please think about giving a subscribe. I really appreciate the support this channel gets. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.